No. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today with this live presentation about professional development training of trauma reprocessing and integration. We are pleased that you showed all so much interest. We have also some participants from abroad, from Italy, Indonesia, and I think India. So, and of course Slovenia. So welcome all.
Spain. I'm in Spain.
Spain, yes, Mario. Sorry. My name is Tamara Trubentar, and I'm one of the co-founders and trainers in Brain Spotting Slovenia with my three colleagues, Sabina Gombac, Jana Potochnik, and Mina Pash, who is not here today. The purpose of Foundation of Brain Spotting Slovenia was for the continued professional development of the psychotherapists and professionals who work with deep trauma, and of course for promoting brain spotting as one of the methods who is helping reprocess and integration of traumatic elements. So this today this presentation is about professional development training that we are talking about today, who will be held the first module in October this year. So to say a few words about Mario. Mario is from our colleague from Spain, now living in Barcelona. He's a clinical psychologist, he's an integrative psychotherapist, he's international supervisor, trainer, and most of all, a very experienced trauma expert with 30 years of experience. And is also a developer and trainer of this professional training working with trauma. And also he is the author of this very good book for everybody who's interested in working or in this content of trauma. Is very good read. So before we start, this presentation contains the two parts. First, Mario will say something about this program, and the other part is about questions and answers for you to ask whatever you need. Second thing is we have to inform you that this presentation is recorded and will also be published in social media. So for everybody who doesn't want to be, who has any concerns about being seen on this video, please turn off your camera. And if you want to ask something or say something, just put your answers in the space for the chat. And for everybody else, about the microphones, when the presentation will go on, please turn on the microphone so we don't hear the noise from behind, and when you want to ask, then turn on. And Mario, welcome. The word is yours.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, all of you, because of being here for this 1 hour and 10 minutes maybe, and especially to thank you, Tamara, Jana, Sabina, and Mina, as owners and promoters of Brain Spotting in Slovenia, and making this possible. You know, this won't be possible without your organization and participation. I think about myself. Tamara told you the main things. My reason to be here is to say something about this method the training. And then the most important is to open this group for question and answer process. Yeah? I would like any of you, every one of you, say just introduce yourself, your name, and where are you, and why is your interest of being here. So very, very shortly, do not use too much time.
I will start.
Yeah.
My name is Jana Potochnik. I am integrative psychotherapist and brain spotting psychotherapist and mentor, and I'm one of co-founders of Institute Brain Spotting Slovenia. And I was waiting for a while for this training, so I'm really looking forward to gain a deeper knowledge about trauma and how to heal it.
Yeah.
In a deeper process.
Good.
So that's why I'm also here, and that's why we decided to invite you, because it's a upgrade from the knowledge we already gained in our primal trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Natasha. I studied transactional analysis. I work with my clients for the last 7 years with different problems like anxious depression and also trauma. And I would really like to get deeper knowledge about this. This is also my reason I'm interested in this method.
Good. Natasha.
Hello, so I am Monishankar from Slovenia. I am a psychologist working in Institute of St. Prima as a psychologist, doing some psychological tests, and also I'm working with people, especially handicapped. So in my work, I meet a lot of time this kind of people who has different types of problems. I mean, situations. So I don't know exactly about this method, so I am very interested, and maybe I will get some new ideas, knowledge that I can apply to work with my clients.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. But that's okay. If people prefer to not introduce, it's also okay. Shall I begin to teach then? To talk? Well, we call this method of working Aleceia method, and Aleceia is a Greek word coming from the etymology means discovering of the truth on the truth in general, unravel also our true essence. That's the meaning and the etymology. And we choose this word because of this meaning, because when trauma, we consider trauma and traumatization are how our experiences affect our sense of self, our way of perceiving, perception of ourselves and life and others. And trauma normally affect our brain architecture, our nervous system. And this nervous system is charged with information. All the information we were uploading in our previous relationships are then going to be transferred into our current relationships. But this means that our experiences, relational experiences mostly, were shaping our ideas, our concepts about who we are, you know. So what does it mean? It means that if we have had another kind of experiences, we also we'll have another ideas about ourselves, you know. But experience is just experience, is a transitory experience. Every experience has a beginning, middle, and an end. But traumatic experiences didn't have an end. They were stored in our body and our nervous system in a way that fixate our senses of self. So in deep, good healing, is meant to reach our true essence, who we really are, who we really are. You know, that's why we choose this word, this name, Aleceia. We try to integrate many state-of-the-art approaches in this integration. So we can say that the Aleceia method is an integrative method of working with trauma, mindfulness-based. Okay. And some of the principles that organize the attitude in this method are that the organicity. Organicity means that we really believe that our body, our brain, has its own wisdom. You know, we are wired with the capacity to heal, and we are wired also with the intelligence for survival. So all we did to be here now in our present moment was an act of intelligence. I like to explain that if we can divide our brain in two main structures, which is the subcortical brain with the limbic and reptilian brain, and with the neocortex, this subcortical brain has a kind of intelligence that is a survival intelligence. This intelligence is very fast. We all are born with this kind of intelligence. So we don't have to think, and we share this kind of intelligence with all mammals in life, in this world. So in essence, we react in the same way: fight, flight, freeze. And this other has another kind of intelligence. This is creative intelligence. This is intelligence for creation, for decision making, for planification, intellectualization, learning, etc. But this is very slow. This is slow one. If we want to survive with this intelligence, we are going to fail very easily. And if we want to learn, to grow, to reproduce, to create with this kind of intelligence, it's not working. So normally in traumatized persons, these two kinds of intelligence, they do not cooperate, do not, even sometimes they do not know each other, you know. But we know another principle is that we believe in the self-healing capacities of the brain. It's true, but when this survival brain is activated, it's reacting towards the external world because it perceives some kind of danger of threat in the environment. But this brain normally, when we are surviving, inhibits the other, you know. So we are activated for survival, or we are activated for growing, learning, etc. That's what we have to reach in a good psychotherapist, to have this one talking, conveying its information, its all unprocessed histories, and this one present, embracing in this function of a loving observer, internal loving observer, which is mindfulness. Another good principle in this Aleceia method is non-violence. What does it mean? It means that we do not want to impose anything that do not belong to the experience of the client. It means that even when the therapist has good maps about the experience, about what could happen in the client, we want to organize our interventions in a non-impositive way, offering mostly our loving presence. That's one of the most powerful things in brain spotting, but also in Aleceia method, that the process happens inside the client. The therapist needs to build this frame to help these self-healing capacities of the brain to awake and to be active, you know. There are many principles, and I don't want to go through all of them. But another important principle is uncertainty. We, as therapists, trauma therapists, we need to embrace this uncertainty. Our uncertainty means that we do not know what happens. You know, the brain of the client, and even our own brain, has billions of connections, synaptic connections. So our conscious brain do not know almost anything. So we want to reach the story stored in our bodies. Our body remembers all our lives. So another thing we can say about this methodology is that it's very focused on our neurobiology in our body, in allowing that the healing process comes from the bottom up. The body telling the truth that in trauma is hidden for so many years. These principles shape the attitude of the therapist. We normally like to begin with these principles because they are very important. If we really believe that every human being survives with intelligence, we need to honor this. And we need to honor the defenses. Many therapists think that defenses are a problem in therapy. But in reality, defenses were a resource. Yeah, the person that suffered trauma, and we all suffer trauma, just survive because he has these defenses. And these defenses help, and these defenses still has also their own history and their own stories to express and to reveal. So that's the attitude for a trauma therapist. Some things about what we could reach in the first year of training. We organized this training for Slovenia in two modules of 4 days. And this is an extrapolation of the training we normally organize in Spain, which is one Saturday per month. So it's a concentration. The first year we call going from the interpersonal to the intrapersonal, which means that we first begin to organize and to establish a good therapeutic relationship and refine attunement skills. For this, we develop a model of developing this deep selective listening. So trauma therapists need to be very open to everything that is in the narrative of the client. Not only what the client is talking, but mainly what the body is expressing, you know? So a trauma therapist knows that trauma is hidden underneath of the consciousness. Sometimes it's even disowned, and sometimes it's even consciously forgotten. So we develop this skill to be very open, accepting everything, but selecting, be very attentive to the emergence of what I call emotional markers that are flooding, emerging from the subcortical brain and coloring and determining the way we organize our experience and the way we relate with others in our current life. So we go from the interpersonal establishing this therapeutic relationship with attunement with the deep unconscious brain and creating a safe environment. That's very crucial for allowing the brain, a traumatized brain, to slow down, to lower this alertness, and to stop reacting towards the perception of potential threats, hopefully there's a potential in therapy, not real threat, but beginning to perceive that now we are in a different context, in a different relationship with a human being that is present, accepting, and safe and protecting. So we want to help the client to go from to away and to be in a self-study mode, which is a mindfulness mode. So we go from the interpersonal to the intrapersonal, facilitating that the person stop reacting towards the external environment and begin to redirect the brain, the attention to the internal world, to connect with these hidden experiences, these disowned experiences that could be stored on our physiological reactions, in our emotions, in our limiting conclusions and beliefs, in our internal parts or ego states, or in our habits. All of this is what we are just observing and selecting and pointing out to guide the attention of the conscious mind of the client to stop and to see deeply, more deeply inside, in order to access this hidden, sometimes unknown, sometimes rejected experience. So that's an important part of the training, develop these skills and refine our attunement skills. And then we go later knowing the nuances of trauma. Trauma is a phenomenon of freezing in time. Trauma happens because of the freezing response, the extreme non-active defense of freezing. Freezing means that we had to stop our active defenses of fight, flight, and this energy was retained in our neurobiology. So one of the things we want to achieve is that to again facilitate that the person can reconnect with these internal experiences that still live in these internal frozen capsules, to put this in action again, to help that these experiences begin to express the hidden unknown experience, being expressed from the bottom up, from the body, the sensations, emotions, images, to the consciousness, to the meta-reflective capacity, the mindfulness capacity. So we also focus on learning how our interpersonal experiences affected our neurobiology, our brain architecture. And we dedicate one day to this psychotraumatology, explaining how our brain works, organizing experience, how our brain was shaped, and what are the nucleus, the organs in the brain that are most influencing the capacity to reprocess experience, or to stop reprocessing experiences. in the subcortex and in the neocortex. This is very, very important and crucial for a trauma therapist, because we need to, trauma is a phenomenon of intrusiveness, hyper alert, and emotional dysregulation. And this affects our capacity to integrate experience. So trauma therapy needs to know these phenomena and to include this knowledge on the way